Hello, everybody. At the outset, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present my PPT. Abnormal beings in Hindu mythology and possible medical explanation. Why do these mythological beings fascinate me? I think it's very exciting to compare and contrast ancient and current medical knowledge. Myth or truth actually doesn't matter. The fact that someone even thought about it is interesting enough for me to delve into this topic. I've been trying to explore if current medical technology can explain them. So I have realized that various conditions fall along one of these categories like possible, plausible, believable, explainable, unexplainable, and finally impossible. Now, starting with how an abnormal being can occur. It can be either natural or artificial. Naturally, of course, there are birth defects which are not serious enough to kill, which is possible. And the interspecies, intergenus, interorder breeding, which is unexplainable. And chimeras, as I'll show you in the later slides, is a plausible abnormal being but with a wide stretch of imagination. Artificially occurring abnormal beings can occur because of gene manipulation and editing, creating clones and chimeras, and the perfect human beings called the designers, and finally with the ingestion of medication or magic potions. However, the first and second mandate the use of advanced artificial reproductive techniques. The abnormalities occurring naturally, sage Ashtavakra, who is being shown in the picture, was supposed to have 8 deformities, possibly arthrogryphosis multiplexa congenita, what we say in current medical terminology. So this is a possibility, it could have happened. Aruna, the charioteer of the sun, was not having any organs down from the waist, and it's quite possible. But however, he still bore 2 sons. This is plausible because he might have adopted assisted reproduction techniques. Whereas the four-handed gods, the three-headed or the four-headed gods are unexplainable with the current medical technology. The naturally occurring abnormalities which are almost impossible. First one is Rishyashringa, who is shown in the picture, who was born with the horn of a deer. We'll come to Rishyashringa in the later slides also. The interclass reproduction, where the human beings are bearing reptilian or avian offsprings. Kadru was the mother of snakes and Vinita was the mother of Garuda and Aruna. Interestingly, both of them were sisters and they were married to the same person, that is Kashyapa. So this Kashyapa also happens to be their father's brother. So there is this consanguinity. So the abnormality can be because of consanguinity or because of abnormal female genetics of the sisters. Now coming to the abnormal organisms that are formed not normally, the chimeras. The chimera is an organism that is composed of cells of more than one genotype. They are genetically edited. It is plausible, but with extremely advanced technology. So we have a variety of chimeras in Hindu mythology. Varahaswami, who is a boar and man with 4 arms, Narasimha, man and lion, Shukamuni, who is parrot and human, Hayagriva, a horse head on a human body, Kamadhenu, and a woman and cow. But the most fascinating chimera, I think, is Makaradwaja. He is a combination of human, monkey, reptile, and fish, and that is what is indicated in this picture here. And incidentally, he also happens to be the son of Hanuman. The other abnormal organism is a clone. A clone is an exact copy of the original individual. And cloning is done from any somatic cell of the body, and there is no need for gametes at all. In 1996, Dolly was the first sheep that was cloned from the mammary gland of an ewe. So invariably, because it is a double of the parent, the clones are of the same sex as the parent. And human cloning is banned due to obvious reasons, but I think it is possible to clone a human being. So the technology, yes, what was there probably before is there, can be used now also, though it is banned. Now the clones whom we can explain. The famous Rakta bhijasura. It is said that one similar Rakta bhijasura erupted from every blood cell that fell on the ground. So this is a clone from the blood cell which is positive, which is possible. The father of all clones, I think, is Brahma, because he had clones coming out of his eyes, forehead, skin, face, heart, navel, lower lip, etc. So it's quite possible a person having many clones from many somatic cells of the organs. But what is not explainable, cloning that cannot be explained, are these. Makaradwaja, as I told you, is an interclass chimera supposed to be the son of Hanuman, born from his sweat skin cells. So he should have been another Hanuman, but instead he had human, fish, reptilian, and monkey characteristics. Shukamuni, who was born of Vedavyasa, he is human and avian, also depicted in this picture. And clone of opposite sex. I told you that cloning is always the offspring is of the same sex. But here we have Shatarupa, who is a female born from Brahma, male. And of course, our own Ganesha, who was born from the skin cells of Parvati. So in this picture, I have depicted the clones who remain unexplainable with current medical technology. Then, of course, the designers. The designers are made to order people, and it's quite plausible. The person is made to order by editing the gene, and it is even indicated in our Puranas that Vishwakarma, the divine architect, created Tilottama. Similarly, the most beautiful celestial beings might be created, like the Apsaras, Agandharvas, etc. They all may be created. It's quite plausible. Now, a word about in vitro fertilization. Here you see an egg which is being fertilized by the sperm, and this is all done outside the human body, and therefore it's an advanced technique of assisted reproduction. And the embryo that is formed is kept outside the body for 3 to 5 days before it is implanted into the uterus, or it may be frozen for future use. But unlike the common name that is used for IVF, that is test tube baby, babies cannot be grown in the test tube or even in a petri dish with the current medical technology. So there is no technique to grow a baby outside the uterus. However, in our previous mythologies, in our previous stories, there are instances of IVF, and I think they are possibly impossible IVFs in current medical terms, because they have extremely advanced techniques where the babies were grown outside the body. Examples include Agastya and Vashishta, who are supposed to be coming out of a Kumbha Yoni, or twins born of Varuna and Mitra, with Urvashi born in a pot. And here in the picture you can see Gandhari, mother of 101 children, where it is said that a large piece of flesh was cut into 101 pieces and grown into human babies. This is very unique because it sets us thinking whether the Kauravas, 101 Kauravas, were also clones. And if so, there was one woman out of them. So how is it possible? And finally, to get such a stupendous success rate for IVF is unheard of in current medical technology. And intrauterine insemination is another assisted reproductive technique where we place the processed semen into the uterus. Birth of Rama and his brothers after Putrakameshti Yagna. There is the story of ingestion of magic potion by the queens. Was it IUI actually? And of course, there is prenatal sex selection, because Putrakameshti Yaga was done for selecting male babies. Similarly, the Pandavas, as they had a different father, maybe they were born of intrauterine insemination, donor semen. But however, insemination between human to animals, as in case of Rishyashringa, who is a cross between human and deer, is impossible with current medical technologies. And interestingly, these are cyber organisms who are connected to the World Wide Web, and they can be omniscient and omnipresent. Krishna is our super cyborg, and Sanjaya is the charioteer who could see the battlefield sitting in the palace. So these are cyber organisms who could connect to the happenings of the world everywhere. And finally, one word about interesting medical conditions. A male bearing a baby, we have accounts of King Yuvanashva getting pregnant and giving birth to a baby, which is not possible with current known medical technology. And sex change operations. Yes, sex change operations are being done currently, but here we have instances of sex changing with reversal. Ela was a person who changed from man and woman, and similarly, we have Lord Vishnu who changes from man to Mohini, the woman, and back. Prolonging longevity and reversing death is impossible currently, but however, we have accounts of Savitri, Satyavan, Markandeya, Lakshmana ingesting the Sanjeevani, and Rohita, the son of Harishchandra, who all got back to life. Rejuvenation, progeria with reversal, that has happened with Puru and Yayati. It is plausible, maybe with advanced medical technology. So with this, I come to the end of my talk. Thank you very much. And the final picture shows probably the next interesting thing in medicine, where we compare the Darwin's theory according to what is described in Vishnu Purana. This is for another presentation. Thank you.